up to it, in fact, by a landlord who wanted them out, who was charging extortionate rents, I think, of just under £1,400 a month, so that Roma families who couldn't really legally work here because of the racist laws being put in place by the EU, mainly South Belfast Telegraph on the streets and begging, and they were living with about 14, 15 people to a house, a number of families in one of these houses at a time, that the landlord was making extortionate rents out of, and then decided that he didn't want them anymore and would toss them aside. We intervened because there was a number of us lived in the area, and we went out and organised defence of the houses. But we didn't just stop there. We went on a postering campaign around the area, putting on posters saying jobs and homes, not racist attacks. And we organised a protest in the area to get local people out to deal with not just the question of the tax going on, but raise the problems of landlordism, raise the problems that people are still facing today. Because if you just go in and lecture people, don't be racist, just go in the areas like Knocknagonia, north of Belfast, they don't be racist, you're not dealing with the reasons where racism has come from and arisen, which is the inequalities of the system I talked about before. So for us as socialists, we pose it differently. We go in and say, there is a problem, there is an issue here. It isn't your Roma neighbour, it's the reality of capitalism, and we pose it then by different classes. Particularly when you're talking about the areas of South Belfast, you're posing about them and us. Yes, there's a them and us. It's us and the landlords, it's us and the bosses, and it's something that we took up. And we also raised today, I think, particularly in Ireland as a whole, but the question of immigration has to come up here. Is that when people are talking about immigration, they're talking about immigrants coming into a country, but we're seeing unprecedented levels, particularly of young people being forced to emigrate to find work all around the world and being forced out. We're raising this here as a system that rather than people's choice of immigration, of leaving or coming into a country, the reality of capitalism is that you have to be, you're being forced out of these countries, your own country and the other countries, to try and find work or a decent standard of living. At this time, I think in Belfast there is definitely, you sort of feel more of a rise in racist attitudes, and I think with the recent elections, I mean, Alexander's talked about Greece, but particularly in Britain with the rise of UKIP in the European elections, it is very worrying that there is a section of people who are seeing it as anti-establishment and moving in that direction. And the same as Alexander said, we're not going to fall into the idea of vote Tory or Labour in Britain to get UKIP out in the next elections. It will in fact push more people into the wings of it, the arms of UKIP and those kind of populist, right-wing, nationalist, anti-immigrant, but also anti-EU establishment to a certain extent of a veneer of that. We need a real political alternative that takes up these these issues as well. So we had a campaign in Northern Ireland of people standing to